Hello there, people of the internet. It has been, well, it's been a while since I've recorded anything for you anyway, but, the last few weeks we've had BattleSpot videos pre-recorded as the VGC BattleSpot ladder went down, unfortunately. But, hope you enjoyed those, but lots of things have changed. Everything is happening right now. Lots of new information for the new games and next year competitively. Worlds, literally just around the corner. This video will be going up on Monday, so tomorrow, Tuesday, I will be setting off. I will be setting off from my home, travelling to Edinburgh, which is where I'm flying from, and flying to Iceland, actually, on the way to San Francisco. So that'll be interesting. That'll be good fun. Probably this is going to be the last video on my channel for a little while, just because there will be Worlds. I am staying in America for an extra week after Worlds as well, going to Las Vegas with some friends. So, hopefully that'll be good fun. I'm expecting it to be quite warm over there, at least. But everything's changing. I have got a new computer as well. This little computer sitting down here is brand new, so I've had to get everything over, obviously onto this computer. But I trust this is working. This is still the same microphone that I had with the other computer, but I do think it sounds a little bit different. I don't think there's any of that horrible static sound either. So I'm enjoying this actually. So so there's that. But first of all, Worlds. How many people are actually prepared and have their teams? From what I can tell, not too many people actually, and I am guilty of this myself. I have, I don't know, in my head I think I've got two teams that, either one team or the other team, so we'll see what happens, but I don't know. I've been speaking to a few other people. Some people have a vague idea of what they're using. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything here, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, this VGC 16 format metagame has been probably the least popular, in all honesty, but it has still been a fun one, I think. I mean, this is VGC. I mean, if you're watching this and you play VGC, and you wouldn't be playing it if you didn't enjoy it, so even when in a format like this, I think it has still been enjoyable. And anything can happen, really. I mean, I think a lot of favourites will flop. I think, a decent number of unknown, I mean, how unknown you can be playing at Worlds, players will come through and do pretty well. I mean, I think it'll just be blown wide open. I don't think there's going to be too many people that have high expectations on them that will do too well. I mean, I think people like Arash will do very well. There's a couple of UK players, William Tansley, I think is very good, and Jamie Boyd, I think, has, developed into a really, really good, solid player now as well. Obviously, Japanese players, I don't really follow the Japanese scene, but I'm sure they will still know what they're doing. Some American players, like, I think Blake Hopper has got his Day 2 invite. I rate him very highly as well. And then, there's players like Wolf who've got a Day 1 invite, and, myself with a Day 1 invite as well. And, will we make it through? Who knows? Enough speculation. There's no point in it. So we'll just see what happens. It'll soon be over. I mean, a couple of weeks' time, we'll know who the world champion is, and that'll be that. So let's look at what is new, because Sun and Moon are obviously coming out in November or something. I don't know. I'm sure you guys know when it's coming out. It's coming out in the future. And we've just had a wave of new information. So I'm just going to sort of go over looking at a few of these changes. I mean, we've got some pages open here. Like the starters. There has been some leaks about what the final evolutions could be, but I'm not going to talk about those because obviously nothing is confirmed. That hasn't come from the Pokemon Company. So we've got the starters, the owl, the cat thing, and the seal thing, whatever that's supposed to be. Yeah, pretty cool. Some more random things, blah blah blah. A bird, an American politician. Yeah, I mean, lots of interesting things. Obviously, the designs are quite interesting, but the thing that stands out to me most about all of these new Pokemon is lots of them have got brand new abilities. It's not like past years where we've got new Pokemon, but they've got the same old abilities that that we've had in the past. Obviously, there has been Pokemon like Aegislash that have had a new ability that's changed completely how that Pokemon works, but there seems to be a lot of Pokemon that have really interesting abilities, lots of new abilities, and this tells me that the Pokemon Company, when they've made this game, when they've made these Pokemon, they actually, and this is, really makes me happy, they have actually put the competitive game into their minds, and I think, especially really contrasting to this VGC 16 format, I think next year's format is actually going to be quite complex and really, it's probably going to be hard to get your head around to start off with, because there will be so many new abilities and obviously new Pokemon as well. But I don't know, it seems like there are lots of Pokemon that can change their forms, change their types, like this Meteor thing that if it gets hit, it loses its shell, I'm presuming. This bird that has lots of different forms, and I think, it's the Dancer one, so if you Quiver Dance in front of it, then it steals your Quiver Dance as well. This fish that sort of is a school of fish, but when it goes below a certain amount of health, turns into the little single fish. I think that's how it works. This thing that has electric terrain when it comes out as well. Lots of new things that and this sleeping ability as well. Lots of things that make lots of strategies now. Potentially not. Obviously, it's not going to stop anything from working, but just make you think twice about how things move, especially with this dazzling ability, which stops all prankster moves. So I'm not sure if that stops all prankster moves on the fish itself, or if it's on its partners as well. I'm presuming just the fish. But lots of really, really, really interesting things. Obviously, there's some more new forms that we'll come on to that in a moment as well. This interesting little mushroom thing, Morlul, with Effect Spore or Illuminate. Do we know what Illuminate does? That's a past ability, isn't it? It's one of them useless ones that increases. Wild Pokemon. That's not an important one. It could evolve into something, but I'm pretty sure we saw in one of the videos this thing used Spore as well. So we've got Breloom, we've got Parasect, we've got Amoonguss, and now we've got this thing and its potential evolution, which can use Spore as well now. So that's quite interesting. But so many changes, really, so many changes. But not only have we got new Pokemon, we have got these new forms as well. So, the new Sandslash and Ninetales and whatever. So we've got some Ice Pokemon. I think that's Ice and Steel. This is Ice and Fairy. New Exeggutor with Frisk, which is interesting. Dragon type as well. So Grass Dragon, I'm presuming. Yeah. So losing its Psychic type. So I always wanted it to be a Grass Dragon type, but does look a little bit strange. I've always been a fan of Exeggutor, but we'll have to see what how this one goes. Looks like it's going to be a Dark type Persian, so Lipard's got some competition there. This new Marowak looks interesting as well. The same type as Chandelure, but it has got Lightning Rod still. So potentially there's going to be a lot of using that. I would imagine it to be physical. You would imagine that a Thick Club, the hold item, still works with it just the same way as the other Marowak, because it is still a Marowak after all. So physical Ghost type moves. Maybe they'll introduce a new one. Physical Fire type moves. Maybe it'll have Flare Blitz or Fire Punch. Definitely. I mean, it already can do that. So there's potentially going to be something to watch out for. And this Alolan Pikachu as well, which is Raichu rather, is also very interesting, because I'm sure. Like this season, I've built teams thinking, I wish this last slot could be something electric and fairy, and and not Deden, or that thing that was released a little while ago. Now we've got this thing which doubles its speed in electric terrain, loses its Lightning Rod, so don't know how useful it'll be. We'll have to see, I suppose. But we've got all these new forms, all of these new Pokemon, all of these new abilities. They are really making, I think really, to me it seems like they're really making the competitive aspect, they've really got that in mind when they're thinking about these Pokemon. They're going to make this game, this next format, really interesting, because I'm predicting it is going to be like a VGC 14 format. I think it will be just the Pokemon that you can catch in the Alolan Pokedex. That is my prediction. That's what I'm expecting. And as well, I mean, they did kind of start doing this with the 5th generation games, I think, in a way, but it seems even more so that there aren't really any useless Pokemon anymore. Like in the 1st generation, there were so many Pokemon that just weren't used. Who uses Raticate in you know, competitive games, or, you know, I was gonna say Electrode, but Miller used Electrode. You know, I don't know. There are lots of Pokemon, especially in the first few generations, that don't really get any usage because their stats are low. They don't have any interesting abilities. They're just outclassed by lots of things. What they're doing now is they're releasing all these new Pokemon. Got all these new Pokemon, but I think that everything is going to be viable in some way. I mean, obviously there'll be Pokemon that have got higher stats than other ones, but I think every Pokemon will have a niche that makes it somewhat usable. So, you know, like in the 5th generation games, you know, Lipard, the Mightyena equivalent sort of thing. You know, Mightyena useless, Lipard really useful when it got its hidden ability. You know, the 5th generation games, I think, sort of started this trend of everything having some kind of use. Obviously, there are a few exceptions, but you know, on the whole, everything has got some sort of use, and I can see they're coming through in these new 7th generation Pokemon as well. So we've got new forms, new Pokemon, Z-type moves as well. This is going to be quite interesting. Does that mean there are no Mega Pokemon? Because you know, you need this Z bracelet or whatever it is to make this work. So maybe even though we saw Kangaskhan in one of the pre-release videos, and so it's probably going to be in the Pokedex, maybe that means there is going to be no Mega Kangaskhan, which brings joy to my heart, having struggled with Mega Kangaskhan since 2014. You know, 3 years of Mega Kangaskhan. You know, who can say they are not fed up of that, to be honest? So, you know, it would be a refreshing change to sort of change the Megas and you know, maybe not take them out of the game, but in competitive, to take them out of the competitive side. So that'd be interesting. But, you know, these Z moves, it seems like you can use a Z move once per game, and whichever Pokemon uses it, it has to be of a type of a move that that Pokemon has. So, you know, it says here that a Pikachu would need to have Grass Knot, you know, a grass move, to use the grass one, which is Bloom Doom here, which sounds quite strange. So there are lots of interesting win conditions that can be brought about because of this. Like, you know, if you keep your your Z move, you know, if you don't use it, if you don't waste it, you know, you can sort of win to a condition where, like, you know, your Smeargle with Wide Guard can potentially one-shot a Volcarona, or, you know, a Talonflame, or something like that with whatever the rock one is. You know, it's going to make the game a lot more interesting if this is going to be something that we can do in competitive, you know, VGC tournaments. I'm expecting it will be, but it'll definitely make things. It's going to add add an extra element. So definitely, you know, looking forward to seeing how it plays out. But we've got the wonder on the power as well. You'd presume the accuracy is going to be 100 because it is, you know, a sort of one-time thing. I'm expecting the power to be 150. I think it'll just be like a Hyper Beam or a Giga Impact, you know, one of those moves. I doubt it'll be any more. I think any less, and there's not too much point of using it. But, you know, like I said, it means that potentially your support Pokemon can have like a one-time, you know, big hit, you know, on something super effective. You know, obviously it's going to do a lot of damage. So potentially, you know, some really interesting things that could go on here. You know, maybe you might even see people putting, you know, random moves on things just so they can use his head move. Like, you know, ooh, let's have Thunder Wave on my Clefairy or something, which, you know, is alright already, but it means that it can hit a Gyarados or, you know, whatever. I don't know. So there's lots of, you know, other, what's the word for it? Variables that are going to be introduced into the game now, which is very, very interesting. Hyper training as well, just to sort of touch on this. It means that you don't have to stress about breeding Pokemon so much now. And if you catch a legendary, you can just get it to level 100 and basically raise its IVs, which is fantastic. Now, obviously, you do still have to, you know, level the Pokemon up to level 100. But, you know, I'm expecting there will be somewhere in the game where you can endlessly ride around in circles. I'm pretty sure that they consciously put that in for the last 2 games. You know, in the Black and White, or no, X and Y it was, wasn't it? You could go endlessly around that circle, around the middle of that big city that, you know, Crash Games when you save it in a certain point. You know, when before the update, and in the island, the island where the Battle Maison is in the latest games, in Ruby and Sapphire. You can just go endlessly around that. So you can just, you know, put something in daycare, just get something, wedge it under your, you know, direction stick, and just go endlessly around. Go to bed, wake up in the morning, your Pokemon's gained like 70 levels or something. You know, it's as easy as that. You know, a little bit cheating, but you know, at least this is, you know, more of an option. Or more of a clean option, I suppose, than using any, you know, outside software and all that sort of stuff, which, you know, I don't think anyone really wants to do, but you know, you're kind of forced to do it really with this sort of thing. So you know, there we go, and yeah, just this other thing as well. Yeah, they're allowing you to organise tournaments, basically using their global link as well now. So over here in Europe, and this is another thing that tells me that they've really thought about the competitive game when they've made these games. Like all of these added things that are just going to make things so much easier for us. Here in Europe, we have tethered nationals, and we had tethered nationals, and you know, we had like 1 or 2 maybe tethered regionals. That's it. Not many regionals are tethered. Premier Challenges, no way near. You know, not tethered. Mid-season showdowns, not tethered. With stuff like this, you will be able to make sure that everyone who enters will have the correct Pokemon. You know, will be legal for the format, and you know, it's just like a wireless battle log, basically. You know, just like you were going to go to nationals. You know, a wireless battle box. So it seems like a really good thing that they've done for us. So you know, appreciate that. And you know, like I just sort of hinted there, you know, with nationals, we've had some big changes with how the next year is going to be ran out as well. You know, obviously a lot more money is being put into it, which is fantastic for VGC players, because you know, a lot of this year people were looking at like the POC prizes and being like, well, okay, that's nice and everything, but you know, we've been playing this game for many years, and what are our prizes? So it looks like they are sending some appreciation our way now. They're giving us some more prizes. So you know, hopefully I'll click with a new format and start winning some money at these events as well, which will be good. It looks like we are having these big, like a big European national in a way, like a big European tournament. I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit unclear if we can have nationals as well, just ran by, you know, not, you know, the Pokemon Company, just like how we do regionals now. So you know, the season is going to be a little bit different, but you know, we are still going to have championship points, and you know, we don't know if there's going to be any bar. We don't know what the bar is, but the thing that I like about this is it says championship point totals needed to qualify for the 2017 World Championships will be announced in September. So that tells me they've got a plan already. They're just waiting to release it. It looks like they've got the stuff together. You know, it looks like this next format, this next season, is going to be properly ran. It's going to be, you know, pretty much all tethered with this wireless business. And hopefully everything should go smoothly. Hopefully the format will be really fun. Again, I think it will be like a 2014 sort of format where a Alolan Pokedex only Pokemon can enter. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. But we've got Worlds first. So yeah, we're excited. We've got these new games. The World Championships is going to be going on very soon. Yeah, this will be going on Monday, so, you know, later this week, this next weekend coming, you know, how about that? We'll know who our new world champion is. So, you know, watch the stream. I'm sure you will know where the stream is going to be. If you're watching this, I'm sure you're going to be watching the stream. I have a day 1, so, you know, unfortunately not day 2, but I made it through to day 2 last year. I did enjoy last year's format quite a bit more, though, so I don't know. My goal is to get through to day 2. I'll be over the moon if I get to day 2, but literally anything can happen. Anything can happen. So let's see. So there you go. I've waffled on for a bit. You might have noticed if you had you know, eagle eyes. I had a little go on that anything goes with a bunch of lipids. So that was some good fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, guys. You know, stick with me because you know, I've got my capture card now. You know, I've got my 3DS with a capture card in it. So When Sun and Moon come out, I will obviously be putting up some Sun and Moon stuff. I can't wait to get into the competitive side of that. You know, really looking forward to it. So you know, stick with this channel, subscribe, and you know, we'll see what happens in the future. All right. So thanks for watching this, guys, and goodbye for now. Good luck to everyone who's playing at Worlds as well. So goodbye for now, and see you at Worlds. You know, if you see me, come up to me, say hello.